Where is the worst place to lose your virginity? Prison. Oh, that's spicy. You mean soapy? Porta potty. Ha, reminds me of when I was in training in the army, and while in the field 2 people were caught going at it in one of the porta-johns. We had been in the field for days, were stressed, dirty, tired, dealing with swarms of insects and near daily rain, and the porta-johns were not something you wanted to spend any more time in than you had to. It was the least boner-inducing environment I could think of, but I guess that was just me. Man, that peanut butter wakes up a monster in me. Let's get it on a tray. Nice. Literally read this in his voice. Nice. A friend of my sister lost hers at a Burger King in the public bathroom. The whole village knew, and for several years she became known as Burger King Julia. Teenagers can be cruel. Edit, Jez, can we all calm down about the fact that I said village? I'm not a native speaker and honestly thought that's what a small town is called. They didn't even adapt it to be Burger Queen? Right? Terrible lack of creativity. Bare minimum, the specter of a Blumpkin should have been floated. Edit, spelled Blumpkin wrong. My shame is palpable. I had a friend who lost hers on the lawn of a retirement home. Her friend wasn't too far away, losing hers too. Edit, this was an odd thing to wake up to. For more context, they were in their teens, 2 couples, walking back from a house party, probably had consumed a fair amount of alcohol, and I guess they decided right time, right place? No senior citizens were harmed in the losing of these virginities. I don't think. Were they living there? Gangbang at the old folks' home. Family reunion. Okay, fine. Maybe. But have you seen my cousin? Yeah, Tammy is hot. Tammy? Or Tammy Lynn? Not where, but when is during the halftime show of the 2004 Super Bowl, where Justin Timberlake pulled off Janet Jackson's shirt and exposed her breasts. So when your girlfriend's dad comes home and asks if we saw the halftime show and you unemphatically say, sure, yay, it was great. And then he becomes suspicious and checks all of the trash cans and finds a bloody condom and then physically throws you out of his house. I have no words. At my house, but the doors were unlocked and my extremely religious aunt came over, and so I had to hide the guy in the closet, and she opened the door and I was like, oh, we were working on a physics project and I was worried you'd freak out if I had a guy over. LMFAO. Oh, my aunt told my whole family for a year. I kept getting asked at the family gatherings, you got any new boys in your closet? SMH. This reminds me of a time in high school. I skipped school to hook up with my then girlfriend that lived across the street from the school. We were on the couch and afterwards she put the blanket we were on in the wash, and for some reason she made it a point to tell her mom she spilled soda on it. So from then on, her family referred to having sex as spilling the soda. Similarly, I had a friend who was caught by her parents halfway with their clothes off, and she freaked out and told them that they were moving furniture and they were hot because they had been moving the couch, so that's why their shirts were off. Lamau. So from then on, sex was referred to as moving the furniture. When I was at uni, I shared a house with 6 friends. There was one guy who was in a long-distance relationship, and when his GF came over once every 3 months or so, they would have ridiculously loud sex. The second or third time, a couple of us had a word with him about it when he came downstairs. He got really embarrassed and said they were just moving the furniture. That was the exact moment his GF walked in wearing his shirt. Damn, I can feel the cringe. Poor dude must have been mortified. Lol. It wasn't so bad. We were all friends. I'm surprised he was embarrassed in the first place. TBH, he was a very confident chap. Not mine, but a friend's. He lost his in an abandoned warehouse on the floor, and from what I heard it was next to a dead rat as well. Mine was in an expensive hotel with rose petals on the bed. But she also insisted to put a dead rat on the bed. How strange. Romance isn't dead, but the rat is. Unless the rat's name was Romance. Waterslide. Whatever you think you can pull off during the ride, you'll be at the bottom long before you can finish up. Don't even try, unless you're ready to face that consequence. And no, I'm not kidding. I've seen people try that. Not only is it highly impractical and an easy way to hurt yourself, there's just not enough time. An average slide from top to bottom takes about 11 seconds. If you want to accept that challenge, Be my guest, but unless your name is Barry Allen, you probably can't pull it off. But hey, prove me wrong. It'd make for a pretty interesting brag story. Or not, depending on which part of the story people focus on. What am I supposed to do with the other 10 seconds, though? Most upvoted comment is about premature ejaculation. Never change, Reddit. Snuggle. Very wholesome. At your funeral. Died a virgin. But not buried as one. Sometimes you have to go before you can come. Sun Tzu. Denny's parking lot. I used to run a 24-hour Denny's. The amount of people trying to have sex in the bathrooms was absurd. Can confirm, eating at a Denny's at 2 a.m. once, and from our booth we watched a couple in the parking lot drunkenly attempt sex in a PT Cruiser. Not even 10 minutes later a different PT Cruiser parked and the couple also went to Pound Town. Something about Denny's, booze, and I guess PT Cruisers? At your uncle's poker game. I'm all in. In the metaverse. The Zuck is watching you duck. Not a sentence I thought I'd hear in my lifetime. Confession booth. Forgive me, Father, I am about to sin. Father, why you mean right now? See, can't you go somewhere else and then come back? My first girlfriend and I lost hours on the beach. Seemed like a romantic idea going into it, but it got messed up multiple ways. Brought a sheet to put down, turned out I grabbed a fitted sheet. Brought a candle for romantic firelight, forgot a lighter. It was windy and chilly. Sand got everywhere. And the actual sex lasted about 2 seconds, because I had the brilliant thought that it hurts the first time, so I'll stick it in as quick as possible to get the painful part out of the way. Cue 2 seconds of penetration and 15 minutes of consoling my poor girlfriend. A friend of mine lost his in a graveyard. He and the girl didn't have their houses available, and the car was tiny and had no back seat, so when driving by a graveyard she was like, "How about here?" He said the event itself was fine, but he had to relocate when they first laid down because he was on top of someone's memorial plaque. Yeesh. Fitted sheets, I can't think of a more embarrassing thing to bring to a beach. 5 minutes crafts would tell you otherwise. The back of a Volkswagen. Sounds very uncomfortable. 15? She told me she was 31. That asshole from Fashionable Mail. That kid is back on the escalator again. I lost mine in a laundromat parking lot, no car, no privacy. Just a parking lot at night. A group of guys pulled up to us with bats and knives, ready to duck us up. They thought we broke into their buddy's house. When they realized what we were doing and that we were in our early teens, they looked embarrassed, so did we, apologized and left. We went right back to fucking. Teenagers are horny, man. I needed to read this a few times. Just what? Burger King bathroom. Julia? She had it her way. In the car. It's hot, cramped, and you'll hit your knees on all sorts of shit. Like the back seat of a Volkswagen? After hearing Berserker, it's unavoidable. Did he say making duck? Gynecologist. Dentist's chair. Dentist grins when he enters the room half-mast. Time for some drilling. In the center of a collapsing star would probably be in the top 5. I don't know. Sounds pretty hot. Don't be dense. Or be dense and hot and get stuff explosive in here. 3-way tie. Prison psych ward hospital. I actually hooked up with someone in a psych ward and it wasn't half bad.